Informed and uninformed, welcome to a brand new video. Today we are getting controversial. Jubilee, also known as Politics Mr. Beast, just released a video, Dr. Mike versus 20 anti-vaxxers surrounded. So I have a lot of opinions. As you know, I have 47 Jewish doctor relatives. I have lots of opinions about all of these things. So we lock in, boys and girl. We are watching these debates until my eyes bleed. Because I feel like at some point it's just gonna get too bad and I'm gonna have to either kill myself or leave. So get ready, everybody. It's gonna be crazy. Now, I have a lot of opinions in regards to vaccinations and all of those things. And because I have so many opinions, we will be sharing them with you as we keep going through the video. My first major opinion is research is actually incredibly important. There are a lot of facts in regards to a lot of vaccines. There are so many nuances to this discussion, especially when it comes to the COVID schnitzels. All right, COVID schnipples vaccine is a totally different beast than vaccines like the hepatitis vaccine or the other polio vaccines that were literally done and proven dozens of years ago. So I hope you're ready, everybody, to watch Jubilee find a way to take a nuanced conversation and make it as not nuanced as possible. I'm sure Dr. Mike is a vaccine absolutist, and I'm sure these anti-vaxxers are going to be like the worst version of anti-vaxxers on the planet. Look at us, guys. We rub mud on our faces instead of getting vaccinated. So if that's how this debate turns out, I will be incredibly disappointed. All I know is Dr. Mike is getting blasted all over the internet, and I am so here for it. I love chaos, and I feel like that's what we're getting today. All right, lock in. Let's see.
He's not necessarily anti-vaccine, but he wants safe vaccines.
Yeah, so I'm pointing out that I think RFK Jr. is a threat to public health.
Oh, shit.
You're saying...
Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. RFK Jr. is a threat to public health. Oh, that's where we're starting, huh? Dude. All right, so my opinion on RFK Jr. is I actually so far like him. I do think that he definitely had bad takes in the past, for sure. I absolutely think he had bad takes in the past. But that said, something really important to note. He is the only guy up against fighting against, like, the mega big pharma people. He is the only one that is actually going up against the big pharma people, saying that, hey, we need to actually limit the red food dye. We need to limit the chlorine and the fucking fluoride in the waters. That is a totally different situation. Oh my God.
He's being hypocritical.
Yeah, he's being hypocritical.
Absolutely.
And
do you know who the #1 hypocrites are? Healthcare providers.
The reality is, if we don't get vaccinated with Jesus...
No! See, this is what I told you. This is literally what I told you, man. Oh my God. Dude, that's the problem with Jubilee. They're literally freaking Politics Mr. Beast. They get the lowest common denominator from every side of every situation. Bro, this is a debate about vaccines. You should get vaccinated with Jesus. How do they find these people?
We will face God on Judgment Day.
I'm Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky, better known as Dr. Mike across social media.
I personally, oh my God, I don't know, man. This is gonna be a big error. Fuckle up, boys. This is gonna be a bumpy ride.
Board-certified family medicine physician.
Yeah, and now he's getting blasted by anti-vaxxers across the internet, and anti-vaxxers are getting blasted across the internet. I love how Jubilee made believe that these shows are like to bring people together, but because they got absolutist on both sides, this will never end. Because they got a vaccination absolutist, like Dr. Mike saying, never question anything, always get vaccinated, infinite vaccination jutsu, butt stabbing jutsu, it's unbelievable. Because they have an absolutist on one side, and they'll probably have absolutists on the other side, get vaccinated with Jesus people. Like, oh my God, this does not help the debate move forward at all. And you know what? I am so here for it. He's wearing scrubs, so I believe him. Hell yeah, baby. Lock it. I fucking love the chaos. All these people.
Who makes content online improving health literacy.
All
and today, I'm surrounded by 20 vaccine skeptics.
All right.
My first claim is that anti-vaccine lies cost lives.
I actually agree with this claim. I am not a vaccination absolutist kind of guy, but I do think that anti-vaccines lies do cause lives. But this is such a, it's not a fair claim, because I think that even 90% of anti-vaxxers would believe that anti-vaccines lies cause lives. Everyone agrees that there are lies on both sides. The question is actually getting to the point that you get to a conclusion what the truth is between all these lives. Someone on my chat just said I took 10 booster shots, now I'm gay. See, that's what I'm talking about. All right.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Excited
right.
to talk about health.
I just had a baby, 7 months old.
Nice.
And, you know, my
That's
baby,
good.
I was like, no, I'm not getting any vaccines. The doctors came in, they made me.
Again, I told you, it's always absolutist. Why did God make retards hot? Chat! Keep your intrusive thoughts to yourselves, goddammit.
Feel like a very bad mother for not doing that.
Bro, dude, they always get absolutists on both sides. They'll never get to any middle ground if they have someone that says all vaccines good, take all vaccines, and someone says all vaccines bad, never take any vaccines. Like, that is such an unfaithful conversation.
Right? I was very pressured. And then I had a family friend who had a baby at the same time, was a few months in, gave vaccines to the baby, and the baby had seizures and has had seizures since.
For the love of God, is this all gonna be anecdotal evidence? Is this entire debate just gonna be a random person walks up to Dr. Mike and say, hey, Dr. Mike, I know a guy who knows a guy who got a vaccine and got seizures. That's why seizures are satanic. And then Dr. Mike is gonna be, well, you know, actually, it's statistically unlikely, but obviously nothing is 100% safe. And then both of them are gonna be like, agree to disagree, you're both retards. Fucking hell, man. Where did they find these people for this debate? Oh, no.
And I've also had a friend who I went on a mission trip with, and this pastor was totally healthy, two young girls, and this pastor literally got a heart attack out of nowhere. And
what the fuck?
The only
That
thing
happened.
was he took the vaccine.
What do you mean the only thing was? The only thing was? Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Oh, my God. What is happening? What is happening, man? Oh, Lord. Oh, fuck. What are we gonna do, guys? What are we gonna do, guys? What are we gonna do?
And there's many cases like that.
Many such cases of people getting heart attacks. That is so not an argument at all. It doesn't even negate the claim he made. Oh my God.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the birth of a 7-month-old.
Oh,
the
shit.
fact that anyone made you feel bad in the healthcare system, I feel like is a failure on us in the healthcare system, so I'm sorry that happened to you.
No, I disagree. We need to make retards retarded again. Sorry, Dr. Mike. I know you're being nice about this and being doctor etiquette, but nah, dude. Nah, dude. If someone says, I don't want to vaccinate my baby because I know a guy who got a vaccine and that guy died of a heart attack, nah, dude. We making fun of that bitch. For real, for real. Oh, hell yeah.
In healthcare, it's very difficult to predict the future because there are so many unknowns and there's so many variables in healthcare. There are things that are a lot that are outside of our control. And we try to do the best with the limited amounts that we can control.
Fair.
So when we see two things happen simultaneously in healthcare, sometimes we think they have caused one another. But unless we see a pattern of that happening over and over again on a large scale, it's more likely that this is just a coincidence of things happening at the same time.
I love how he's literally just explaining to this lady that coincidences are a thing that exists. Ah! What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh my God, that's the level of debate we're having.
For example,
Dude, the argument that you should have is specifically on the COVID vaccine. All right, then you can extend it to other things. Start with the COVID vaccine. Recognize that the government literally lied about side effects to the people. They have been proven to be liars. They censored freedom of speech. They locked people in their houses. That is what you need to start with. You got to start with mistrust in government and research into each vaccine individually. Don't just be like, I know a guy that died of a heart attack. He was vaccinated. Case closed.
I have a friend of mine who's a physician who vaccinates children very regularly. And they were about to give a child a vaccine And before giving the vaccine, the child had a seizure. They went on and had more seizures throughout their life and ended up actually dying at a very young age because of a seizure disorder. But the vaccine was never given. Had that happened 2 minutes later, what do you think would have been in the mother's mind and in the father's mind in that situation, other than, I definitely think that vaccine caused that problem?
Again, this is the kind of thing that's ridiculous. Her argument was, someone I know got a vaccine and got seizures, and his argument was, well, I know someone who didn't get a vaccine and got seizures.
But it could have just as easily happened before, which it did, and the vaccine wasn't responsible. So it's very difficult when two things happen at the same time to be able to make an exact reason as to if that's what happened to cause it. So what we do is we admit that there's safety issues with vaccines.
Fair enough.
They're not 100% safe. Nothing in life is 100% safe.
Fair enough.
Driving or walking here today is not 100% safe. I could have a heart attack right now.
Yeah, no, but I don't think anyone's complaining. Well, that's not true. I'm sure some people are complaining. But some people aren't complaining that there are side effects to vaccines. It's when the government lies. When the COVID vaccine came out, the government said there were no side effects to this vaccine. They said it was mandatory to take for everyone at every age, and literally there were no side effects. That was an incredibly maliciously lying statement. Literally fear-mongering people and terrifying people over the COVID vaccines. Again, that's just an opinion, and that opinion is based on the fact that the government did lie. Again, I'm not saying that taking the vaccine versus not taking the vaccine is safer, isn't safer. The government absolutely lied about the effectiveness of the vaccines. They claimed that once you get vaccinated, you can't infect other people, which wasn't true. And also the fact that they literally lied about the fact that there were side effects. You gotta admit to the truth here. You gotta admit that there were side effects. But of course they didn't, and now of course everyone wants to get vaccinated by Jesus instead.
Now, cannot predict it. But what we can do is try to do the best that we can with the information that we have.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
That's
you.
valid. Yeah, I think Dr. Mike absolutely destroyed her. That was insane. I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked that these are the people that Jubilee got to debate him. All right. All right.
Hi, Dr. Mike.
That was smooth. Hello.
He's got that wrist flowing. I'm actually a fan of your channel. I've been watching for a while.
Thank you.
I am a pediatric hematology oncology nurse.
Oh,
Wow.
hell yeah, dude. Someone that actually is in the science field, not someone that rubs earth on themselves. Oh my God.
Okay.
I think a lot of mistrust in my eyes were opened during the whole COVID pandemic.
True.
Why?
Institutions that were there, I used to be in the military, so when I was in the military, I signed my bodily autonomy away. If they told me to do something, I did it.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I say that in all seriousness because I think a lot of times that kind of becomes habit just to say thank you, but I really do mean that thank
Well,
you.
I appreciate that. So,
Dr. Mike seems like a really nice guy. I don't know. I'm memeing on this guy, all right? I'm memeing around here. Seems like a nice dude.
so seeing, how Dr. Fauci, who was just pardoned, and that's a whole other
That's fucking weird. Why would Biden pardon Dr. Fauci, huh?
discussion.
Not getting involved in that. All 7 swing states wouldn't save Dr. Fauci if he didn't get a pardon.
Seeing how we were sold a bill of goods that we, the American tax dollars, paid for, while these pharmaceutical companies reaped millions and millions
She's
of
right.
profits
She's
on.
completely right.
And I think
Oh, fact check. Ooh, fact check. The U.S. government, all right, we read the fact checks on this channel. We do the research. The U.S. government spent about $30 billion of taxpayer money in developing and distributing COVID-19 vaccines during the pandemic. Most COVID-19 vaccine makers saw a significant COVID bump in profits. Yep, kind of weird.
that caused the goalpost. Oh, the vaccine, this mRNA vaccine, it's going to prevent the transmission of COVID. It's going to prevent you from getting it. And others, if you don't get this vaccine, you hate
She's
your
right.
grandmother.
She's right.
You're going to kill all these people.
She's
If
kidding.
you got to do your duty and get it.
She's
well, you know
cooking.
what? My grandmother got it, and she died. I saw her take her last breath.
I'm sorry.
And it's a very it's a very profound
Don't
thing to
apologize.
see someone that you love take their last breath and go on to whatever happens after.
look, again, it's anecdotal evidence, but the fact is the government did lie with the COVID vaccines. They were, at this point, they were proven liars, and they made billions off the COVID vaccine, the different pharmaceutical companies. And the pharmaceutical companies literally paid crazy amounts of money to Congress people, right? We know this as a fact. It was literally confirmed. All those people in Congress, all the people in Congress literally made crazy amounts of money. Bernie Sanders, right? He's anti-millionaires, but he made over $1 million from pharmaceutical companies. Like, come on, dude.
Of course.
So when those seats, and it turns out the 6 feet of social distancing was not based on anything, how can you not expect people to question these higher institutions that are deemed to look out for the well-being of people, and they don't?
It's a great question.
Yeah, she's kind of cooking.
Just like with Black people who don't trust the government because based on the Tuskegee experiment in 1932.
What? The U.S. Public Health Service untreated syphilis study at Tuskegee was conducted from 1932 to 1972 on Black men ages 25 plus. The study was supposed to observe the natural history of untreated syphilis. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Oh, actually 40 years after that, the New York Times, they actually infected them with syphilis, and they let them infect their families, their friends. It ran rampant. So how do you...
Researchers did not collect informed consent, misled the participants, denied treatment. Even when remedies were readily available, the study did not infect the participants with syphilis, but allowing the infection to continue untreated meant dozens of wives and children also became infected. Yeah, the government's always been fucked up. True. Yep. She right. She's spitting. She literally right. The JFK files were released, and the only one definitive thing is that the government is fucked up. There is no evidence to anything other than the government is wildly fucked up. Oh my God, that's wild. Bruh. Holy shit. Where did that come from? I think the point is that you shouldn't just blindly trust anything that the government says. I think that's the point she's trying to make. And I actually kind of agree. During a congressional hearing, Randy Paul asked Fauci to reveal what he was paid by pharmaceutical companies, and he refused. Obviously, he refused. No shit, he refused. My body, my choice, and then gets a mandatory vaccine. Listen, hypocrisy, it's everywhere. Oh my God, it's crazy.
You expect certain people, when they've been burned by the government, to all of a sudden, all right, well, I'll trust you now. Ultimately, it's people's choice. Just like if someone wants to refuse a treatment, we give them an AMA form against medical advice. I think it's all up to people's choice and their autonomy.
Dude, why are they raising their flags? Let Dr. Mike respond. Come on, guys.
There was a few topics that you touched that I think are really worth discussing. First,
yeah, she really monologued there. Oh my God.
Bodily autonomy.
Yeah, that is not the first topic to discuss at all. The first topic to discuss is the fact that the government lied to you, so why should you trust the government? I firmly believe that most vaccines are probably good. They've definitely been... There's so much evidence to the positive of so many actual vaccines that happened. The polio vaccine basically wiped out polio, shit like that. So I do think that starting off by saying, how do you trust the government? That's where you start.
Believe that, and that is the sole principle by which we practice medicine.
True.
Vaccines fall in a unique category because your decision on vaccinating your child and then sending them to school can impact other children in that school. So much like drinking and driving as an example,
facts.
Your choice to do that puts your life at risk, but it also puts others at risk. So we deem that as dangerous for the general public.
I think it makes sense. He's completely right. But the issue is when it comes to vaccines that aren't actually tested properly, vaccines that don't have years of research that went into it. That's where the real question shows up. Not the polio vaccine.
Why vaccines, it becomes a little more complicated when we talk about bodily autonomy. When it comes to our government, our mandates, pharmaceutical companies, there's absolutely reasons for distrust.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I love that everyone in this room is a skeptic, and I encourage skepticism. I don't think anyone should just go into a doctor's office and say yes, 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 yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Dr. Mike literally peddled the COVID vaccine lies that ended up being lies, and according to people in my chat, he still didn't, correct the record on that or take the video down. But anywho, again, not getting involved in personal attacks here or anything. Not getting involved in any of that. I also agree that it's important to do research, but doing research doesn't mean, you know, doesn't mean listening to podcasts and being like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, I have to shove mud up my ass. That's the real cure to vaccines.
In fact, I love when my patients question me. I empower them to ask questions. Doctors sometimes get this attitude where they're like, oh, you Googled before coming here? Google search doesn't...
Yeah, dude, that's such a bitch idea. Like, someone that Googles and treats themselves based on Googles, like, that's an idiot. But someone that Googles so they can be more informed before they go to a doctor, absolutely they should do that.
Replace my degree? No, that's not how we're supposed to be. What I get excited about is if you Googled and you have questions, now I know exactly the route I need to take.
My favorite thing about Google is like you stub your toe and then you'll Google, my toe hurts, what happened? And then Google's like stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And you're like, fuck yeah, Google. Hell yeah, dude. What do I do? And the response, COVID vaccine, 6 boosters. Hell yeah, Google. Keep cooking, Google.
To help you make a decision that's right for you and your family.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Oh
Please return
Thank
to
you
your
so
seat.
much. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
these conversations never get past. The person comes in, she makes a statement, he responds, gets cuts off halfway, it's over. He didn't even get involved in the obvious lies in regards to the government COVID shit. He didn't even get there, man.
Sweet.
All
you
right.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, Roots God. Good to meet you as well.
Love the jacket.
Did he call himself Roots God? Oh no. Oh no. Why did she get voted out? She was the only one having an actual conversation? Yeah, because the format's bullshit. And because the common denominator here are people like Roots God.
How you doing?
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, Roots God. Good to meet you.
Oh, not Roots God. Stop. Oh man, they
well.
replaced a nurse oncologist with Roots God.
The jacket.
Thank you so much. So
I mean, okay.
I really want to talk to you about this claim based on all of the other things that are causing disease, the chronic conditions that are in this country, all of the...
Oh my god, literally the whataboutism argument. It's like, okay guys, his thing is, there are some lies about vaccines that causes lives, and his response is, other things cause lies too.
the metabolic issues, and this is stemming from colonization.
What?
Putting smallpox blankets on indigenous cultures, sterilizing people in Puerto Rico, Honduras, all of these different things that have happened. And if you look at Africa, oh, by the way, Bill Gates did say something interesting. The next war will be fought with biological warfare.
Oh my god, he just said like 14 things at the same time. Oh lord. Bill Gates has repeatedly warned of the dangers of bioterrorism in a 2015 TED Talk following the Ebola crisis. Gates said that the world was not ready for the next outbreak in which could be bioterrorism. In 2021 interview with Veritasium, Gates said humanity's next challenge are climate change and bioterrorism. Wait, he thinks that because Bill Gates mentioned bioterrorism, he invented a vaccine to sterilize the people? Oh!
And I think that was raising eyebrows, especially when you look at the Kissinger report, right? For those of you who don't know about
Oh no, and she's nodding. Oh no!
the Kissinger report, it's all about pretty much reducing the population of the planet.
Oh my god, the problem with conspiracy theorists, I find very often, is that most people don't believe in one conspiracy. I personally believe in a bunch of conspiracies. I love conspiracies. I think they're so fucking awesome. They're fun to think about, and I actually do believe in a couple of them. I don't think that JFK was killed by a lone shooter, all right? That's my opinion. I personally think his head just did that. That's my opinion, all right? I don't think he was killed by a lone shooter, all right? That's a conspiracy that I personally do kind of believe. 2020 election being stolen, I'm sort of 50-50 on that one. I don't know. I'm curious. We'll see how that happens. All 7 swing states. Come on now. Come on now. Where did all those voters go? I don't know, bro. Like, there are certain conspiracy theories that I think, you know, they're interesting to talk about. And then you have the Earth is flat. But if the Earth is flat, then that means that the moon landing was fake, because then obviously you can't land on, there's no fucking circular spherical moon with a flat Earth. So if the Earth is flat, then the moon is fake, then NASA is a psyop, then the government is controlled by the Illuminati, then the Illuminati is controlling all of the population on the planet, feeding them lies, so they invented vaccines to control the people, and the 5G towers are now there to develop COVID. Like, do you understand? Do you understand what I mean? Like, there are some conspiracy theories that end up being every conspiracy theory. The National Security Study Memorandum 200, known as the Kissinger Report, looked at how excess population growth in least developed countries would be a risk to U.S. national security and overseas interests. So he's saying, because the Kissinger Report said that overpopulation is dangerous to the U.S., that must mean that the United States government is sterilizing people in Africa. Again, I've heard this conspiracy theory before. Who knows? Maybe. It could be true. I'm not saying not. But, like, the thing is, he believes in all of them.
So I don't know how you can make this claim and really defend vaccines in the...
Well, some vaccines are researched. I don't know how this dude actually has the patience to sit through this. Oh, my God.
Nature and the world that we're living in, where we are actually going away from nature. And the further we get away from nature, the more diseases we will see.
Does he realize that the average life expectancy is much longer now than it was 500 years ago? Like, 500 years ago, lots more nature 500 years ago. Right now, less nature, longer life expectancy. I don't know how that happened. That's pretty weird.
So, you know, I'm very passionate about this, and I want to be able to have, like, a real discussion with you. Because, yes, you're a medical doctor, but this is also a system that J.D. Rockefeller started, getting rid of all types of indigenous practices, and this land is stolen land. So when we're not even honoring the source, when we're not honoring the land, the ancestors, ancestral intelligence, the real AI.
Dude, what are we gonna do, man? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? See, this is what I mean. There are absolutely a couple of valid concerns in regards to COVID vaccines and shit like that. But then when you're like, all right, so I'm gonna introduce you to my anti-vaxxer friend. He has a few things to say. And then the dude shows up and talks about ancestral intelligence. It's over. It's over.
When we're not even honoring these things and we're just supposed to trust science. No, I trust my scientists. I trust Dr. Sebi. I trust Dr. Aris Atham. I trust Dr. Yaki. Because this system is not for us. It's not built for people like me. It's not built for any of us. Because even the opioid crisis, we saw a lot of Caucasians suffering from that. So how can you sit here and say that this vaccine is killing people when this system is currently killing people? When we even have to have an administration that comes in now and says, ooh, we got to start looking at all of these different toxins in the food.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to do. Look into the toxins in the food. I'm not sure what...
Medicine in the soil.
Oh, Big Root is not cooking. Big Root is not cooking, man. The real AI, ancestral intelligence. How do you even respond to this?
I don't think it's fair for us to take this vaccine when we're already being forced to take polluted food.
How can you even compare these things? Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. I hope RFK Jr. does make America healthy again, does get rid of pollution in food and shit. That is true, 100%. But what does that mean? They're forcing us to eat polluted food, so why should they also force us to get vaccinated?
When you say take this vaccine, which vaccine are you talking about?
Well, really all of them. It should be a choice, because even when I was younger, I didn't take as many vaccines as the children have to take now. These children are sicker, they're going through more metabolic issues, they're having mental health issues, and now I don't think it's just the vaccine. It's the system that's perpetuating this type of lifestyle. Yes, that child who was even in the hospital under those fluorescent lights, I'm not surprised that they had a seizure before, because this is an environment.
Oh my God. He's bringing up Dr. Mike's original case where he says he knows a kid that got a seizure. He knows a kid that got a seizure before his vaccine. And he's like, well, yeah, he was in the hospital under fluorescent lights. So, I mean, you know. Oh, the DEI anti-vaxxer allegations are going crazy.
Environment that is not conducive to life. This thing that I'm wearing on my chest is called an ankh.
Unk, pipe down, Unk. This is not working. Oh, guys, how did you pick up your red flags for the nurse, but you're not picking up your red flags for Unk?
Y'all replace this. Y'all replaced our cultures. This life representing thing, you replace it with death culture. This is not a healthcare system. It's a sick care system. And honestly, I cannot sit here in good faith and not represent all of the people who have come before me.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Why the frick did they pick this guy to represent anti-vaxxers? Oh my God, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, absolutely. I respect
He's
that.
a Shungite believer, for real, for real. I cannot breathe. Unk was not cooking. Oh, Lord.
That I came to the United States as an immigrant living on welfare.
Yeah, democracy was a mistake. The public is retarded.
So I got put into this same system that you're describing. It's a shitty system. The world is changing in ways that make our lives more unhealthy. We're eating more processed food. We're exposed to more chemicals, usually as a result of products that we actually enjoy. So when I complimented you on that great jacket, when someone wears a specific pretty strap on their Apple Watch, there's chemicals in there. There's forever chemicals in there. So for every amazing thing that we have in society, there's been drawbacks.
Okay, Dr. Mike, you are being way too nice. We have to stop being nice to retards. I'm sorry. They need to be publicly shamed. I like, that is the nicest response in the world. He's not responding to a single point he's making. He's like, stop coddling the unhinged, God damn it. This is insane. Empathy to the retards is being retarded to the empaths. What is happening?
The good part about our society.
God, he's a saint. Bro's a saint. He's a legend. I have so much respect for him and simultaneously completely disagree with his approach.
Is that we're constantly monitoring those drawbacks and are trying to create solutions for our own problems. So when I think about our current healthcare system, where I think it needs to do better is it needs to focus more on prevention rather than cures.
All right.
Agree or disagree?
1,000%, yeah.
What do you think vaccines do, Big Root? Oh my God. We need to focus on prevention. The guy's like, yes, yes. What do you think vaccines are for? Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how we can do that?
Not through the vaccines, but one way we could do that is connecting more to nature.
Oh.
One way we could do that is...
I mean, I agree that natural things are good and artificial things are bad. I agree that ultra-processed foods are unhealthy. 100%. Like, the issue is, this needs to be a nuanced conversation and not absolute yes versus absolute no. Only Sith deal in absolutes, okay? What is this shit?
is making sure that we're not poisoning the food. One way we could do that is treating each other better with more respect and actually...
I agree, absolutely. Treating each other with respect and stuff, unless they're retards, in which case, you know my theory.
Getting rid of these systems that are putting us against us, this divide and conquer, the media manipulation and all of this fear tactics that was pushed during this vaccine COVID mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. Bro, okay, first of all, I agree that the COVID mumbo jumbo, locking people in fucking concentration camps and shit because of COVID, like, yeah, that's all obviously retarded. But bro, dude, you think that putting a baby under lights is killing the baby? You don't think that that's gonna divide and conquer? Oh my lord, how on earth do we not have people picking up their flags at this point? Oh my god, get it out of here. Big Root said mumbo jumbo.
This was totally...
Do you think we should do all of it?
Okay, sorry, pause.
Yeah, all right, so I'm glad they voted him out. But the point is, you definitely need to there definitely needs to be a balance. Obviously, nature is good. Obviously, you need nature, you need healthy foods, you need a balanced diet. All these things are true. But saying that for some reason, modern society is just worse in every way than medieval times is insanity. It's like actually insanity.
Been voted out by the majority. Please
Thank you.
return to your
Appreciate
seat.
that. Thank you.
Oh god. All right.
Hi,
Hello.
Doctor.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
How are you? Pleasure to meet you. So I'll let you know I'm Tom. I'm a police lieutenant from northern New Jersey.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
And what struck
Local.
me about your statement about body autonomy and
All right.
children and the COVID vaccination.
All right. Okay.
What would you say
So far, so
if I
good?
told you I had 3 daughters?
Okay, I would say congratulations.
My spouse and I had differing opinions on whether our children should be vaccinated with the COVID vaccine.
All right. That
And a
happens.
judge orders that vaccine be injected.
Yeah, he's right. That's fucked. I agree. I completely agree. The government definitely overreached 100%.
Into my daughters. I'll give you a little bit of data first.
Okay.
And this was part of my reasoning with the courts. Risk versus benefit,
God.
correct? From 2018 to 2023, If we trust the CDC, their numbers say the most deadly thing for our children, the #1 deadly thing, do you happen to know what it is?
Guns.
Accidents.
Guns. There's no way he said that with a straight face. There's no way.
The #1 deadly thing, do you happen to know what it is?
Guns.
Oh my God, I cannot believe he said that with a straight face. Oh my God.
Accidents.
Obviously it's accidents. Oh my God.
Not necessarily guns, but accidents.
Yeah, mostly car accidents probably.
Do you know what the #2? And I'm going from children from 10 to 14.
According to the CDC, from 2018 to 2023, the leading cause of death in children ages 10 to 14 is accidents, while the second leading is suicide. COVID-19 ranks 9th on the list of leading causes of death from 2020 to 2023. My God, dude. Holy shit.
During the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit before the pandemic as
A
well.
little bit before, so the numbers are a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
The #2 cause, suicide. Do you know where COVID is on that range of dangers?
Very low.
Very low. That population is about 21 million children in the United States. Between 2018 and 2023, there were about 4,000 to 7,000 accidents, about 1,000 suicides. Do you know how many deaths there were from COVID?
No, not offhand.
69.
God damn.
In New Jersey, where I'm from, the height of the pandemic, do you know how many deaths there were?
Oh shit.
0.
God damn.
Now, are you familiar with the VAERS database?
Yes.
So that's for adverse
All right, dude's actually spitting so far. He's actually cooking. I respect it.
reactions to vaccinations.
Yes.
During that time frame, this is about 6 months out of that period of time, from December of 2020 to July of 2021. The VAERS database, which is the only database we have, there were 14,000 post-COVID vaccination deaths.
Sheesh. There are 19,310 total adverse events labeled death under the VAERS self-reporting system following the COVID-19 vaccine. The website says submitted to a report to VAERS does not mean that healthcare personnel or the vaccine caused to contributed to the death. VAERS reported are unverified. All right.
So how, if you're looking at risk towards benefit, is injecting a child upholding what we call the Hippocratic Oath?
He cooked. He's not wrong. Bro is cooking. He's not wrong. See, that's where I think you absolutely need to take this conversation. The conversation needs to be some sort of middle ground. The fact that the government definitely did lie in many places in regards to COVID. The fact that they proved to be liars when it comes to the COVID vaccines. Like, literally, this has been proven. This is a fact. So, that is where you need to take this conversation. Not in absolutes. Only Sith do that shit.
Right? We talk about the Hippocratic Oath and we extrapolate from that. One of the first things, it's not said in the Hippocratic Oath, but it's the first thing is to do no harm. Now, as a police officer, I took oath as well. Protect, serve, preserve life and property. In my line of work, there are times when I had to take a life to save one.
Damn.
I don't necessarily think that applies to you, Doctor.
Oh,
It does not.
shit.
Maybe you can give your viewpoint, whether maybe you're for or against, a
Dude,
court
this guy's great. What the hell?
ordering the children to be injected with something that there is no harm to. But now we're seeing actual harm with the vaccine.
All right.
They didn't die from the disease. They're dying from the vaccine.
Yeah, so your point is very logical.
All right.
And you're very well researched.
All
and I
right.
applaud that because most people will go off.
Most people are like Big Root. Most people are like Big Root. And they're shoving amethyst crystals up their asshole to cure cancer.
Their feelings as opposed to looking at the data as you did. So I appreciate that. When you point out that there's been 69 deaths, you said?
Correct. Between
From the
that
CDC
time,
data.
if we trust it.
If we
yeah.
trust it. And then there was 13,000, 14,000 deaths?
14,000 according to the VAERS
VAERS
database.
Are you familiar with how the VAERS database works?
I am.
Do you know who can report to the VAERS database?
It's a voluntary report system,
By
so
who?
it's open.
By
It's
who?
open, either to patients, medical providers,
Loved
anyone.
ones,
All right.
anyone.
Okay.
during a heated political time, during which people are very angry and are reporting things that do happen during a pandemic, isn't it possible that there's people reporting things that after we look at it and judge it off of the VAERS system, that it is in fact not shown to be causative, but in fact a coincidence or a correlation?
Possible.
So-
Oh my God! Why are you picking up your flag? Let him respond. God damn it! Oh, come on! You can't. What is going on here? It is so frustrating. The guy says his point. Dr. Mike opens his mouth, and they just pick up the freaking flags immediately.
Yes, I would say that correlation doesn't equal causation, but I'll give you another data point to chew on. When I was a law enforcement officer, I saw people that were dying, and then when they were assessing the cause of death, they had a range of other morbidities. And just because they died with COVID, they didn't die from COVID. But getting back to the children.
Let's not bring up George Droid. We're not talking about George Droid, okay? Stop.
None of them did.
I think the reason why 0 children died is because we immunized so many, A. B,
That does not help the argument at all against specifically the COVID vaccine. That is definitely a good argument against the large, gigantic swath of humanity and many vaccines, but that does not help against the COVID vaccine.
fact that the court ordered you to do it, it's not really my place to judge, because you have 2 parents that have 2 decision-making capacities, and someone has to make a decision. I don't know what's right. I leave that to people who are smarter than me. I can talk about the science of it all.
At least say that the court shouldn't be forcing parents to give their children COVID vaccines. Like, I feel like that's the very bottom of the barrel.
And when we look at the science, yes, COVID is a low-risk proposition.
What if the government decides that they want to come up with Neurolinks? All right, Neurolinks. Elon Musk invents Neurolinks, right? It's this chip you put in your brain and you can access the internet, and who knows, maybe the internet can access you. What if the government decides, in order to stop crime, we decided that we are going to be implanting involuntary Neurolinks into every single baby's brain? Right? The government decides it's good for your health, and the judge decides, and the court decides we're doing that. One Obunga-appointed judge decides, yep, we absolutely need to put the chip into everyone's brain. Yes, that'll help the government read minds and do mind control, but we're doing it. The court decides. Does that make it just? Does that make it right? Like, come on, dog. Come on, bruh.
For children, but it's not a zero risk. When we look at the COVID vaccine, especially at the peak of that pandemic, when we were seeing hospitals overflooded, when we were losing people left and right, that was our sole way out of that pandemic. So the fact that 0 children died with the vaccination rate that we had, I suspect that the vaccine played a major role in making that happen.
All right, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Just have to say, don't know. Not a doctor, personally. I've spoken to multiple doctors about this myself, all relatives. As you know, I have 47 Jewish relative doctors. Some of my doctor relatives are very pro-vax, and some of my doctor relatives are anti-COVID vax. So I've definitely heard all the perspectives here, and it's definitely really interesting whenever I see this discussion brought up. And damn, this discussion was not given justice at all. Literally not at all. The fact that they voted everyone else out, this dude walked up and the timer ran out. Bruh.
Sorry, we're out of time.
I'd love to go with that one.
Hey, before we go any check, delivering the SAN link bar news
That vaccine acquired immunity.
Right.
episode. Now let's get into it.
My next claim is that vaccine-acquired immunity is better than natural immunity.
Oh shit. All right. Oh no, she's crazy.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Mike.
Oh god, she's crazy, guys. She's crazy. I see it.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Oh god.
I want.
Oh god. Oh lord, it's a Karen. That's a Karen for real, for real. Holy. Oh no.
Say first that I'm a mother of 6 children. My oldest 2 children do have vaccines. My 3rd child, he got a vaccine that the doctor said were safe that caused him brain issues for the rest of his life, and
Does she know that the vaccine caused brain issues? That's the first question. The second question is it just anecdotal and coincidental? Because obviously there are side effects to vaccines. This is a fact. But again, that doesn't negate the good that vaccines do on a whole.
Has arrested hydrocephalus. I want to continue to say my youngest 3 children have no vaccines at all. They're perfectly fine. They're advanced.
That's good.
My son has permanent brain injury. So they say vaccine immunity is better, but as a child, when I got vaccines, I ended up with spinal meningitis. I had chicken pox twice. I almost died.
You did not have chicken pox twice. I don't even think you could get chicken pox twice. We're looking that up right now. Can you get chicken pox twice? Yes, it is possible, though it's very rare. All right, okay, all right.
But my 3 children that don't have any vaccines are perfectly fine. They've been traveled over 20 states during COVID. They've never got COVID. They've never got sick. Just a healthy diet, keeping them away from toxic foods, making sure their hygiene is good. Did you know that COVID has a patent and natural illnesses can't have patents? Did you?
It is generally true that naturally occurring materials can't be patentized, and slight modifications by man can be patentized. Oh, fuck.
You know that every illness dated back to polio has
Oh my god, the fact checker going crazy. Viral post claiming illnesses from AIDS. All right.
patent. The only thing that doesn't have a patent is the common cold.
Viral posts claiming illnesses from AIDS to swine flu are patented have been proven false. Okay, so she's just wrong. The people sharing the information often confuse the names and purposes of the patents. Often these patents are related to diagnosing and treating an illness.
Did you know that Fauci funded medical schools to try?
Oh my god, the fact checker's going crazy! Members of Congress have accused NIH of funding gain-of-function research with the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The government reviewed the work in 2014 and at the time determined it didn't fall under the scope of gain-of-function, though experts dispute to this day whether it should have.
Try to make the vaccine more, or not the vaccine, make COVID more deadly.
Make COVID more deadly. She's really trying that on a doctor. Oh no.
Vaccine immunity is
gain-of-function research genetically alters an organism the way that might enhance it.
not really a thing because they cannot guarantee it makes anybody immune. There's more side effects.
Fucking hell, man. There are 2 types of active immunity. Natural immunity, vaccine-induced immunity. Contracting COVID-19 carried a risk of more severe side effects than vaccine side effects.
From getting a vaccine than to not get a vaccine. The chances of getting illness not vaccinated versus to getting vaccines is a lot higher than somebody that doesn't eat toxic crap.
A study published in 2021 found people who reported eating most fruits and vegetables and legumes had 9% lower risk of getting COVID and 41% lower risk of developing severe COVID during the study period compared with people who reported to eat least fruits and vegetables. All right.
Practices good hygiene. They're more likely to get illness vaccinated versus not vaccinated. There's studies that show unvaccinated children.
These results were observed before vaccines and are irrespective of vaccine status. Oh no.
Children are more healthier. In Japan, they don't start their vaccine schedule, I believe, until 2 years old.
Japan Pediatric Society recommends a vaccination schedule start at 2 months, not 2 years. All right, so she was just wrong. 3 recent studies in Japan show that more than 3% of Japanese children are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder compared to the 2.8% estimated in the United States. Oh my god!
Autism is almost non-existent, and this is something.
She really said autism is not existent in Japan? There's no freaking way. There is no way. Stop, bro. Oh my lord.
That needs to be documented. Dated back to polio. Everything has a patent except for the common cold.
There's no way she's gonna argue that the polio vaccine was not stopping polio. Is she fucking kidding?
Mad cow disease, Spanish flu, COVID, everything has a patent. So that leads me to believe Big Pharma has been ruining our people for generations.
That leads her to believe, guys. It leads her to believe she has made the empirical decision. Retard found, retard detected, it's over. I don't know, man. How do you even argue with this? Oh my god. The cop from New Jersey was spitting, and then she walks up and she's like, yep. No autism in Japan, because 2 years. Meanwhile, there is autism at a higher level in Japan, and it's at 2 months. What are we even gonna do? There's a patent. That means the government invented the disease. Fact.
Since the Great Depression, since, like he said, Rockefeller agreed to fund medical schools and the education system around 1920s. Since then, illnesses have increased and increased and increased and increased and increased. And all we ever needed was to take care of ourselves and have good hygiene.
So, realistically, The life expectancy rate is higher now than it was before modern medicine. That's a fact. So saying that all we needed was good hygiene is retarded. There are definitely cures to different diseases that science has invented. Does that mean that every vaccine ever is good? Does that mean that every government mandated bullshit is good? Does that mean that the government should jab you? No, not necessarily. But that's the problem here. You're literally dealing with absolutes. Unbelievable retards. Oh my God.
Something I think our healthcare system doesn't do enough is say, I don't know. And I have no idea about Dr. Fauci's patents. I don't know about patents on viruses. I'm a family medicine physician. That means I work in a clinic where people come in with either an acute complaint, something's going on with them, or they're coming in for a preventive physical where we can...
Good for Dr. Mike to don't engage with the patent thing. Yeah, it's a fight you'll never win.
Get ahead of things and make them healthier by preventing illness. In fact, if you think of...
Dude, she actually has those crazy eyes. Like, I'm not even kidding, bro. Bro, she actually has the crazy eyes.
If you think about where pharma's profits are, if pharma had to choose between preventing an illness or to treat an illness for the rest of someone's life, financially speaking, they'd probably want to just treat someone for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
But that's not what vaccines...
Why do you say exactly? It literally debunks your own point. Exactly. Yeah, they want to completely stop the illness. Oh, wait, that's what vaccines are supposed to do. Oh!
Vaccines are. Vaccines prevent that illness. They prevent it from...
And she's like, nope, I agreed until you said the thing that turned on my neurons. I disagree now.
Happening. And when you brought up the subject of...
Bro, you know her 6 kids got the wildest child rearing of all time.
Of autism, I think it's an important subject, and it's a subject that's been largely debunked by the...
A small debunked study in 1998 incorrectly suggested a link between vaccinations and autism spectrum disorder. The study was reviewed and retracted years later by the publisher, The Lancet, after finding several elements of the paper were incorrect. I mean, that's what the fact check says. I don't know. Again, the vaccination causes autism at low levels. Conspiracy? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like that one definitely, absolutely has a very, very wild... There are different evidence from different studies saying that there is some impact that vaccines have on autism. Again, I don't think it's a large amount, but I'd be surprised if it had no impact.
The entire world community.
Not at all.
She says not at all. She knows.
I've seen studies that...
If you don't know, don't speak on it. Yeah, but I tell you I don't know when I speak on things that I don't know. That is exactly why I say I don't know before talking about it.
I say otherwise, doctor. So I don't know if you're going off Rockefeller's medicine or are you going off of holistic medicine as well.
Oh my God! When you say this, is it because you're talking about science or are you referring to real science? Yes.
As a scientific mind, you're supposed to observe everybody's hypothesis, not just
Oh God, you have Big Root nodding in the background. What are you gonna do?
Rockefeller's medical schools, and that's why I feel like you've got most of your knowledge from, and maybe you should bring...
Is she shitting on him for getting his knowledge of medicine from medical school? Oh, you get your knowledge from medical school. You didn't look at diverse research like holistic bullshit, whatever. You didn't discuss with the mud people what they have to say.
Out into holistic medicine because vaccines have never been the answer. They were
vaccines wiped out measles and polio to a large degree. All right, like this is unbelievable. This is the problem with the discussions here. The problem is they will get 2 absolutists and have them whack their heads against each other. Oh my God, bruh. I discussed this with my shaman, and my shaman agrees.
They were created to separate us from spirituality and conscience.
Religion has been linked to vaccine skepticism in multiple studies. While the topic is highly complex, one study attempted to break it down into 5 religious motivations. You think that the government invented vaccines to stop religion? What the actual fuck are we talking about? Like, come on. At some point, you have to realize it's too many conspiracy theories. Not every conspiracy theory is right, okay? Oh my, even the nurse in the background is like, oh, fuck. She's like, imagine being one of the 20 anti-vaxxers over here. All right, imagine being one of the 20 people trying to argue this case, and then Big Root and this lady goes up and is like, vaccines were invented to end religion.
Consciousness.
Oh no, not that face.
If you look at the ingredients, there's nothing healthy in vaccines. Formaldehyde.
There's nothing healthy in vaccines. You gotta stop, man.
All types of stuff. So none of that prevents. Everybody's got.
None of that prevents. What is? She has no idea what she's talking about. Oh.
Vaccines still get illnesses. I've never seen any prevention of anything.
How? I've never seen prevention. It's because it's prevented. What are we gonna do? I've never seen any prevention. Oh my fucking God, stop. Oh.
The prevention from vaccines comes from prevention of death and serious illness. And we've seen that when you study that, not just in the US by the Rockefeller system that you describe, one of the largest studies in the world surrounding vaccines and autism in children came from Denmark with over 500,000 children.
A 2019 study of more than 650,000 children born in Denmark between 1999 and 2010 strongly supports that MMR vaccination does not increase the risk of autism, does not trigger autism in susceptible children, and is not associated with clustering of autism causes after vaccination. That's the fact check. If you believe it or not, I just read the fact check.
That is not a US system, that is not a capitalist system, and they found that there is no pattern.
That's not true.
Denmark describes itself as a free market capitalist economy with a strong social welfare safety net for its citizens. All right, whatever.
Trying to brand.
Did she just say that's not true? You could say that maybe it's fake, it's biased, it's manipulated, it's something. You can't just say it's not true. Why is everything that she believes empirically correct, but anything that the other guy believes not correct? This is wild.
Inch out as much as possible.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh my fucking God.
See?
Yeah, I'm done. That's it. We're done with this. Sorry, we're finished. Ideologically captured. I know I'm right, therefore I am. She just said, not true, doctor. Not true. Maybe consider holistic medicine, doctor. Oh my God, she comes back. Do we want to watch her come back? All right, we'll watch her come back. Fuck it. I want her to come back. One more time.
Hello again.
Hello again.
Oh, fuck. All right, this is the claim. Oh, no.
I would like to start by saying that HIV does not cause AIDS.
We're done. Thanks for watching. We're done. We're so done. We're so done. Okay, we gotta finish. I'm sorry. I have to see. Dude, retard detected. We have to finish. All right, this is the last piece. When she gets voted out, 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
AIDS is actually brought on when your white cell count goes below 200. So to say that HIV causes...
Should I even read the fact check? Yes, AIDS comes with HIV.
AIDS is inaccurate.
See, that's the thing. You can actually try having a reasonable conversation, okay? About the COVID vaccine especially. You can have reasonable conversations about how the government is overreaching, about how they shouldn't be pushing shit on people when it's not true. They literally lied about, oh my God, and then you get HIV doesn't cause AIDS.
Information is actually when your blood cell count goes below 200.
Fuck. What do you do? What do you do with this?
I do agree some things he says skeptical, such as climate change is real. When
some things that RFK Jr. says is skeptical, like climate change is real. That's one of the skeptical things that RFK says. Dr. Mike is like literally, he's fingering the pistol in his pocket. He's ready to blow himself a second asshole.
We know that there's weather manipulation weapons and
everything she says. Everything she says. Weather manipulation weapons. Bro, the Jews out there manipulating weather. You still want me to think about oh God. What are we even gonna do?
And patents. However,
even the vaccination people with Jesus person
change is real when we know that there's weather manipulation weapons and patents.
Look at her. This is the one that said you don't need vaccines, you just need to get vaccinated with Jesus.
However, majority of what he says about vaccines is true. When there's...
How do you know? How do you know anything? Like, literally, I hate when people come out here and be like, yeah, majority of what he says is true, because I agree.
So many, have you heard of the military doctor Teresa Long?
No.
She said that spontaneous abortion went up 300% in the military after they mandated the vaccines. There's been several doctors that have came out and spoke of the adverse reactions. So how is it that vaccine skeptics are the villains when some of the top doctors...
Not all vaccine skeptics are villains. You could be skeptical or whatever the fuck you want. But making the argument that all vaccines are deadly and kill and cause autism and shit and never vaccinated, if you vaccinate, you're killing your child, like that's fucking retarded on the other spectrum.
Some of the doctors that help create PCR tests, some of the doctors that have worked on
Big Root agrees. Guys, this is good.
Vaccines have came out and said they're unsafe and we should not give this to our family and friends. How is it that he's a villain? How are we a villain if some of these...
How are we a villain when I heard one guy say that vaccine bad?
Vaccine creators and scientists are the ones saying we should not get it.
Is there anything I could say today that would change your mind?
I'm just asking.
He's so done. He's so done. He's so cooked. Like, what do you say? AIDS isn't caused by HIV and Jews invented weather manipulation weapons. Like, come on, man.
I'm asking you a question.
Oh my God, did she respond with, I'm just asking questions?
Is there anything I could say today that would change your mind?
I'm just asking your opinion.
I hate that so much. I love when people ask questions, but I hate when people say, I'm just asking questions, all right? Yeah, the Jews did it. I'm just asking questions.
Asking you a question.
Probably not, because I
Is there anything I can say that'll change your mind? No. No.
actually read and study.
Did she just tell a doctor, a fucking medical doctor, I actually read and study?
Well, if I can't change your mind,
I just want to know your opinion.
Yeah.
I just want to know your opinion. No, you don't.
So I would like to...
You want a platform to spew your bullshit.
Give you my knowledge, my experience, and what I've seen in the hospital system. But if you're telling me right now, no matter what I say, you're not going to change your mind, is there any value to that?
Well, I like to study everybody's
How did they not pick up their flags? How did they not vote her out?
opinion. I don't like to just say, I believe this, and not further investigate everybody else's opinion.
Yeah, she invested the weapons that change the weather.
But when studies show the unvaccinated are actually healthier and
When studies show, and then she just says a blanket nothing.
the vaccinated are the ones that are...
Scientifically flawed survey on unvaccinated Americans claim that unvaccinated children have fewer instances of chronic illnesses than vaccinated children. The surveys did not seek control factors. For instance, eliciting responses from vaccinated and unvaccinated groups in the same manner.
getting COVID and dying and getting heart problems, and over 100-something athletes that got the vaccine got heart problems after being perfectly healthy. I think it's unsafe, and actually more so...
Yeah, by the way, there were a lot of heart problems that came from the COVID vaccine. That is true. But, like, you mix that in with the rest of it.
villain-like to say it's so safe.
Bro, you gotta check her Facebook groups.
And call people that are anti-vaxxers skeptics when over 100 athletes that are perfectly healthy
God,
are injured.
dude.
Over who knows how many in the military cannot have kids or have had a spontaneous abortion or everything because of this. So I feel like it's an unfair statement to say he's a villain or he's unsafe, but then continue to say you believe the vaccines are safe and effective when millions have died or suffered from adverse reactions. So I'm just trying to understand your perspective.
Yeah, no,
my perspective is, if you, like the American Medical Association put out that over 90% of doctors got vaccinated. There's no epidemic of doctors having negative outcomes, dying at alarming rates.
There's saline shots as well.
She thinks that all the vaccines that doctors got were placebos. You will never. Some people are just born to-tard. There is nothing you could do. There is nothing you could do. There are just, some people are too tarded.
There was a doctor in Australia that came forth and said that at least 10% of the vaccines that were going out were saline shots. And this has been proven by an Australian doctor.
Oh my
that
fucking
some
God, that's called placebos. That doesn't mean that all doctors got fake shots so that they could survive while the the peasants die.
The shots that were going out were saline shots. So how are we to say that some of these doctors didn't know ahead of time of Agenda 21?
The fact chet's just going crazy.
And
I'm
got
not even reading it anymore. It's just changing
a
all the time.
saline shot. It's kind of
Okay,
impossible
pause.
to say.
Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
All right, she's gone. Holy shit. Does she come back? There's no way she comes back. Oh, Lord. I don't even need to see what she says. Like, I literally don't even need to see what she says. Is that like coming from a bad place?
We're the villains, but they're the villains because health should be a matter of choice, right? The problem is we're not healthy anymore, right? So they forced me to vaccinate newborns with Hep B. What are they? Are they having anal sex and intravenous needles or getting tattoos in utero? My son wasn't.
Well, happy children that
And like for me to like be wasn't, but they did try to force me. They make you feel like they didn't make me feel. I chose to feel like I was the villain, like the school. I for all the vaccines until he was in school. My son nursed him until he was 7.
What? Wait, that just came out of nowhere. Wait.
Why? To this day, still, I nursed him until he was 7, which I know people.
All right, we're done. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Dr. Mike is cooked. He's cooked. He's fucking cooked. What are we even gonna do, man? What is even gonna happen, bro? What are we? Holy shit! Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. Dr. Mike versus anti-vaxxers. Jubilee, the Mr. Beast of politics. They're really coming out here with like they found the lowest bottom of the barrel people of all time for this debate. Holy shit balls. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Dude, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Like, how do you get normal discussions to actually happen when these are the people that are actually there? Thanks for being here. Holy fuck. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.